Boom goes the U. Headline article on Yahoo Sports says Miami Vices breaking late on Tuesday night, a 10-month investigation. Interesting that they bring this out as college football set to kick off, isn't it? Renegade Miami football booster spells out illicit benefits to players. They got a whistleblower. Tyler Pyburn's joining me in studio. Nevin Shapiro is the guy.
Nevin Shapiro is the guy. Nevin Shapiro. In my mind right now, the guy's a flippin' cult hero, because take a listen to some of the things that this guy has actually done. He moved from Brooklyn to Miami. I'll give you a little background on him. To Miami when he was a youngster. When he was a little kid, he grew up around Miami Shores.
By the way, can I stop you for 1 second? That's him on the right there, right?
He looks like a guy you'd see down at the local pub.
But
he's just a twerp.
But if you were a college athlete and you were being lectured by NFL players, by Roger Goodell, if you had aspirations to be in the league, by lawyers, attorneys, agents, if this was a Saturday Night Live skit, I mean, I don't know how else I can put this. If you saw, can I see that picture full again? If you saw a picture of Nevin Shapiro, wouldn't this be the model of the type of guy you wanted to stay away from?
Yes. However, when you think of that, and then he waves $50,000 in front of your face and say, here, you start to change a little bit, don't you? Well,
yeah, it's always going to be tempting.
Yeah, I don't even think tempting is the word to describe it. I mean, someone waves $50,000 in front of my face right now. I'm sorry, Butch. Okay. I got to go. But here's the thing. Nevin Shapiro grew up, made his money in real estate. He then, in 2001, had enough money to become one of the boosters at Miami. In order to do that, you have to pay a $12,000 fee to be what's called a live-in scholar. So what that means is you have the ability at Miami to have a one-on-one personal connection with a player, an incoming freshman at that point in time, that you're basically saying, I'm paying your tuition. I'm the guy that's boosting you so you can have a scholarship there. His very first year, it was Willis McGahee. From then, everything basically started from 2002 when he was giving out Miami Heat tickets, and it escalated from there. Whatever the kids, whatever the players needed, they went to him, they asked him for it. He did everything. He implicated about 73 different players inside this list. Vince Wilfork, John Beeson, Devin Hester, just to name a few of them. There's a lot more. Kellen Winslow Jr., just another one of the names. Big name guys, lesser known name guys as well. He gave them money, straight up, $50,000 is what he's allegedly given Vince Wilfork at the end of the 2003 season, I believe, or 2002 season it was. So he's been giving money out. Prostitution. He basically set up prostitution rings for about 39 different players. So he said, you know what, I rented up in entire levels, entire floors of hotels, and set up every room with a different prostitute for the kids to come in and go hang out for the night. And in return, they came out and said, okay. Now here's the thing that gets him more interesting about it. He is now serving about a 20-year penalty, incarceration in jail for his role in a $930 million Ponzi scheme that all had to do with groceries. So the guy is insane, but one of the best quotes from the entire Yahoo article was him saying this. In the 80s, you had Uncle Luke. Okay. Now it's my turn to pick up the torch and run with it. They had their own little cease and desist in the 90s. Well, you know, it was dead long enough. The 2000s are my eras.
Here's what I see as the problem for the University of Miami. There's no getting around this now because Freet is in trouble with the law. I mean, Shapiro. Because of this Ponzi scheme, all his phone records, all his credit card bills, all these things are traceable back to players, and you have evidence of autographed things. If they sell any of those autographed things, I mean, Miami's in trouble. What do you think is going to happen to Miami?
Former players have come out and said this. Now, they have come out and they have basically said that we don't want this to happen. Now, you talk about the death penalty. It's only happened that one time in college football with SMU. It also happened back in the 50s with Kentucky during their big reign at the top. And it also happened back in 2000 in college soccer with Morehead State. So these are just some of the schools that they've actually gotten the quote-unquote death penalty from. So it hasn't happened in over a decade now, since 2000, realistically, for all of college sports. What's going to happen with them now? It's a little after the fact. You've got that 4-year statute of limitations, but because this thing has gone on, they're trying to figure out exactly when it ended. They can go back and really take the most recent ones. The 2002 era, it's kind of tough to figure out. The thing that was a little bit different from SMU to this was, well, they were told, they found out, they knew about, they were caught red-handed back in the early 80s, mid-80s, and then they went out and said, okay, we're going to continue doing it. So I don't necessarily think that, well, Miami got caught in the early 2000s, and then they went out and kept doing it. So they didn't actually get any sort of warning, so to speak. So when you look at this, you have to wonder, is it a death penalty? I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to get one of the most severe bowl bans. You're going to lose a ton of scholarship money, but really, who cares? Because you get boosters anyway.